for open seat right up there, I guess.
Yeah.
Review and approve the May 17th minutes.
I move that they be accepted as written.
I second that. In favor?
The next thing we'll review and approve the May 31st warrant. You guys had a chance to look that over?
Salary run. Remember we signed up for that alternate energy billing?
Did we?
Yeah, we signed up with some company. I haven't seen if we actually done anything, have we?
One of those bills is high.
We were supposed to save 15%.
Oh, yeah.
My daughter signed up for one of those and, they never kicked in, so she signed up for somebody else and now she's getting their credit.
Some of them are tricky. They ask you to sign up, but it's for a solar project that hasn't come online yet. And then you only get the credits when the solar project comes online. And like in Baldwin, a lot of the solar projects around the state are delayed because of the connection issues and stuff like that.
Yeah, yeah.
I move that the warrant to be accepted.
I'll second that.
There's all the miscellaneous bills. And there's the salaries paid for.
There's one big one that I didn't recognize. He must have had some help on the cemeteries or something.
Who's that? George?
No,
No? Yeah, I think he did.
George Norton.
Yeah, that's You put my flag, put my flag down.
Oh, he would?
Yeah.
Now, Cumberland County Assessment's got a supplemental assessment for tree growth removal penalty, that we gotta sign. We're gonna see houses over on Cumberland Road, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
Want to sign this one first, Bob?
You guys, right?
Yeah.
That's a 1 acre lot there. You know what this is, sorry? Ring a bell,
That's an old, it's Weston Nelson assigned this deed.
yeah, I know, but, this is a quitclaim deed. They should go ask them.
This Debbie,
Yeah.
I will find out.
And we go after?
Yeah, if you don't mind. I notice the address here is, he's using a North Saco address, but he built a house over on by the Cran Road. So I wonder why he's still using that North Saco address. No wonder that tax bills get screwed up.
She says that is just to release the lien that's on here,
Goes dates back to the eighties, so just runs that over.
Huh, okay. It's pretty old.
Yeah.
Bruce, you got wage increases and printing information?
You got it in front of you, right?
Yeah.
I just, wrote this up, and I put in another category for, entry level. Somebody's just come on the department or something,
Yeah.
to have that in there. So that would be the lowest scale there, and then you have basic exterior, and then it's basic pretty much probably in a year or so, I'll have to put operator exterior or something like that, because they're doing away with the basic, which I took back in 2010, so. And then there's interior, and firefighter 1, and firefighter 2. and the chief pays pretty much, and the assistants are all straightened out, and then I put the, fire police down, it's the same as the basic and if you look at Standish's, some of it's a little higher than that, but I'll guarantee you within a year or two's time, Standish will go by us again.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, yeah.
And with Cornish, it's just too hard to figure out. I mean, they pay their guys, chiefs, assistant chiefs, captains, lieutenants, and that's about it.
Oh, really?
There was nothing, for the other guys to do the work. So I just wanna run it by you, see if you're happy with it. Each one of these things with the entry, with new and basic exterior, will have to have a job description sooner or later, the way I look at it. You two guys are happy with it?
Yeah, I move that we approve it.
I second it. Okay. That, entry level, is that like a,
Somebody just coming
probational
on.
period
Oh,
and?
yeah, probational period, somebody's just coming on
Yeah.
and see if they like it and stuff like
Yeah.
that. It's basically, they can't do anything without being right with somebody else.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
I can't put them out in traffic, and you can't, putting on air balls and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So, and that's just a probation type period, and then we can move them on.
Yeah.
The other thing was going retroactive with this, back, because we run, December is when we cut it off, December.
Yeah,
1st.
yeah,
So
yeah.
I was gonna run, if you guys don't object, back feed this all the way to December,
Retroactive, yeah.
retroactive. If you have no problem. I think there's gonna be enough money in the account to take care of it,
Okay.
so I'm not worried about that.
Sounds okay with me.
So, that's that part. You guys have looked at the study, and we've all looked at it enough now. But I'm gonna say, to have it printed, I can't even remember, it was 100 and something, and I tried to look for it, just before I come in here, and I can't find it. For black and white, through the Denmark, was it Cardinal printing?
Cardinal, yeah.
Or it's $358 or $360 for color.
Mm-hmm.
I would just soon myself do the color, just for the presentation, because I think it looks a lot neater, and a lot cleaner.
I think it would do,
And
yeah.
there again, it's nothing for you to do, but I'll just take it out of one of the station accounts
Okay.
with that, if you're on board with it. The other thing is, I didn't know what it was, so I had it figured at 50 copies. Now, whether that's too high, too low, I don't know.
Yeah.
I just don't. I mean, if it's too low, we can always go back, I guess, and get more, but.
Yeah.
And I do wanna see it on the website, soon, within the next few days, on the town website.
But the town reports, we never know how many to print out.
I had to have the figure to start with, so I said 50, because I didn't want 100, I said, that's way too many.
Yeah.
And they like, these books sitting on here, I'm afraid.
Right.
Still, yeah, if we don't have enough, then I guess we'll have to go back and get more.
Yeah.
So I recall the way it worked was the architectural study was the expensive one for $3-something, and that's the one that had all the color in it.
Yeah.
And then the other one, which was basically black and white,
That one can
was
be.
fairly cheap, so
Oh,
overall, it was about $500.
Yeah, yeah.
So, yeah, I, move that we approve the printing.
I second that.
See about getting it done tomorrow, then. Or in the works tomorrow. Won't be done, but it's in the works. Other than that, that's about all I've got right now.
Okay.
We had trouble with engine 4 again, the same thing, and they'd had it out a couple times in the last 4 days, and they didn't have any trouble, so I got my fingers crossed that they nailed it this time.
Good.
Yeah, we got a right away through town-owned property with a landmark parcel. Yeah. We talked about this one about a year ago. Yeah.
That's the one.
Finally.
Oh, yeah.
And at the time, we told Mr. Anderson that we didn't want to give him a right of way. And, the issue is, put a road through that lot, and it takes up a good portion of the lot. That's what's it good for. Let it buy the lot. No, we don't have it for sale. doesn't specify exactly where, but you have two drawings, one looks like this,
Yeah.
kind of like that, and then another one shows it where the road actually runs through most of the lot, you know, takes a big chunk out of it. I don't know how we'd want to do that.
Yeah, we can split that lot right in half, wouldn't it?
Pretty much.
Well, make it kind of invaluable.
Mm-hmm.
The other thing, I think he's already got rights of way somewhere, and well, I haven't determined where it is, if you buy the lot, there's a description in here about a right of way. So, yeah, you can get access to it from Sebago. The other side of the town line wouldn't be the shortest way, but. We've tried, I think, to keep that place from getting chopped up any more than it already is. It's a mess.
Right, yeah. Yeah, I agree with that.
So what do we wanna tell him, there's already a right of way done here? I don't,
Well, what they're asking, I don't know what he's asked for specifically. I guess he's asking about the right of way. And, I would say that we don't have one for him. And, say George had expressed interest in getting the town to give him one through that road right there.
Mm-hmm.
And, the whole place is a mess in terms of, having properly recorded deeds.
Where is this?
Pinewood,
Pinewood.
Yeah.
it's up by Mary's house.
Yeah, it's right beside me.
Yeah. That little space between Hiram and Sebago.
I live, if you were to make a square on Baldwin, I live in one corner.
Uh-huh.
So you have to get to my house, you have to go to Hiram, then it's Baldwin to this corner, and then almost immediately going to Spago.
Wow.
So, I think that property has been kind of ignored for years, and apparently someone who owned it way back when just broke it up into little lots and gave it to anybody that wanted it, or sold it for next to nothing.
Where that right of way is, I don't know.
It's improved quite a bit,
The Woods Road.
not
what is
as bad as
it?
it used to be, but,
But it runs,
you know,
if you
my
read the
property is
the
terrible.
way I read it, is it runs along.
And I'm concerned, because Ken and I have 60 acres, and we built a real nice house up in there. And I
It
don't,
runs along
you know,
here.
I don't want it to get worse.
No? Well,
And then it says something about another one, maybe down on this end. It says parallel to the first one.
Wanna put it on hold right now?
I don't think we want to do anything now.
I thought, I'm sorry, I'm speaking out of line, but I do kind of remember a lot of this, because definitely something important to me about. It seemed like the last time you guys were talking about this, that road, Pantherville Pines Road, actually goes right over all these different people's properties, that you said it was not a public road, that it was not a town road.
Yeah. That's right,
And
yeah.
that raised a real problem, because you couldn't really give him a right of way over it, because you don't own it.
Right.
Or as we can tell, like I said, a lot of the deeds are kind of sketchy in there.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. I know it, I've heard that. But there's only 3 people that are living down there right now.
That's all there is?
Yeah,
Albert Babs?
2 Babs, yeah, 2 Babs, and I don't know what the other guy's name is, but, I know that Jane Gavin, you probably don't even know who she was, but.
She used to be the postmaster.
Yeah, that's absolutely right,
Yeah.
yeah. She had, that guy do some work on her house, so I mean, I guess he works, I don't,
When
one guy, he was worried about losing his house to taxes, back taxes. You know, he gave us, you know, he was on his deathbed, but he came down and paid all his taxes right off. I can't remember the guy's name, but he came in one day with Debbie and just wrote him a check. So, I'm surprised there's only 3 people in that.
Yeah,
Used to
there's
be
only
quite-
three, yeah, there's only three places down in there now, and, I heard, someone told me that, well, I know who told me, but anyway, they told me that Anderson, wanted to sell that property. He wants to sell it.
Yeah.
And, but he doesn't feel he can sell right away, so, you know, I don't know, I mean, Kenny and I were offered it, you know, I think it's, I don't know, it's like 50 or 60 acres, I think.
77.
77, okay. Well, they offered it to us, but, you know, I can't afford the taxes I got now. You know? So it's just like to add almost, well, double it, double the property I have, and it's like, I wouldn't use it, but, you know, I keep trying to talk my game to buy it, because he buys everything, but I wasn't very successful, so I don't know, I mean, he might be interested. He did tell me the last time I was whining about it, he says, well, you set it up, and I'll buy it. Well, he bought that property across from our driveway, that came up, and I called him right up, and I said, you wanna buy that lot right across from our driveway, because that's got frontage on Southeast Pond, and he went right to it, and he bought it. So he just bought, I think he just bought another 90 acres.
Wow.
In Baldwin. So he buys land.
Bruce, you got anything else? Yeah?
No, I have to get with, Bob, I looked over that ordinance that you sent, it looks like you got a lot of it, or some of it from Portland.
I got some of those places.
Yeah, similar, so, you know, it's got some good stuff in it, so I have some questions about it, but we don't have to get
It's
into
an undesirable house.
Sit down.
It's undesirable house thing.
Yeah.
Disorderly house,
Yeah.
Thank you for doing that, by the way, that's really great you're doing that, I felt really sorry for that fellow that came in today.
Yeah.
I'll get with you and
Yep.
go over it, but, I like the way that characterized, you know, gives a better definition of, the disorderly houses can be a camper even. I thought that was good.
Yeah, because Portland has ordinance against campers in the driveway.
So. Have you heard anything from, Wes about, this letter he was gonna give to the People's Perch?
No.
I suspect he gave it. Cause he just came down and asked us about it, I said, looks okay to me, and I made a couple of small. Bits to it, but, that's all you got?
Yeah.
All right. Chad?
Well, I had some good issues, and I had some bad issues yesterday down the beach. The good one is I had a woman, and she loved it the way, because I had some passes for the beach, and I sold quite a few yesterday. And she said that was a good idea to have that done. But I don't know how long I'm going to be able to do it. I have a hard time keeping up with trying to get everybody and everything. And I booted 2 people out yesterday. I spoke to a couple kids on 4-wheels in there. One, because we had a complaint, because one went down the boat ranch and washed his 4-wheeler down there.
Can't do that.
No.
No, I told him, I so I went and spoke to him and everything. And, the signs there, those two signs you got, as you come in, the people gonna really recognize those? Because we used to have some on the trees and everything,
Like the one, like this one, or the
like
big
those,
ones?
like those.
I can read,
Yeah, I think we're gonna have some on the trees too.
Because there isn't any on the trees.
Yeah, on the trees.
this one used to be on a tree.
Yeah, I did, get nailed. They took them down. I think Ben has more of those signs. So, of course, this Saturday, we got beach cleanup down there, and, I can't make it, I gotta work. So, ask Ben, if you're going down, ask Ben about them, the signs,
Okay.
cause he's going down.
What about the trash cans, have they put them out yet?
Yeah, I just got those today.
So how many, you got 3 or 2?
I got 2.
Two?
Yep.
Okay.
I thought I was gonna have a mess in there after last night with the rough crew. They had their table plastered with bottles and everything, just solar light and everything. So I figured that was gonna be a mess in there come this morning, but they cleaned it up and everything.
They clean it up.
Well, I haven't heard, have we had any input at all from an attendant? You know, did I work with him yet?
We
Have
talked
you heard?
to them. No, I haven't heard.
No, I haven't heard either.
Still early, so hopefully.
But it would work good with 2 people down there,
Yeah.
With-
Oh, yeah.
stickers and everything.
Yeah.
Are they selling more, you're talking about the $10 beach stickers?
Yes, I sold quite a few yesterday.
You're selling some of them down there?
Yep, I sold 22, 23 yesterday.
Good.
Now you're verifying that they are town residents, right?
Yes, I am with, registration and everything.
Okay. Okay. No, it's good. I just was nervous of him having the money on hand,
Yeah.
somebody robbing him or something. So that's working, I mean, if they're happy with it, and, keep trying.
It should slow down.
It should, yeah, after a while, everybody should get their beat.
You keeping a list?
Yeah,
So you know what kind of registration number
yes,
and
I
stuff?
am, yeah, but I got it from Debbie,
Yeah.
everything.
So she's not gonna sell them up here this year? Or
Well, yeah, I guess she is,
Right,
right?
to do both. That's what I thought, when we
It
both,
says that available at town hall
yeah.
on the phone.
Yeah.
But that's pretty good that you're doing it down there too.
It can get hectic.
You get a chair?
No.
You don't get a chair yet?
No.
Tulley's awful worried about you having a chair down there.
You gonna have time to sit.
Mary?
I don't have anything, no.
Nothing at all?
I didn't know this was gonna be on here, so I'm glad I came. Well, I come anyway, but, you know.
I haven't heard anything on the after-school program as far as getting together with her.
I haven't heard anything else.
I didn't see nothing return on email
No.
on that, so. I'm tied up this week anyways, I gotta be in Household tomorrow morning, and I gotta be in Freiburg Saturday, so,
Oh, yeah, funeral.
Yeah. yeah. Oh, you get anything?
Yeah, a couple things. You know, we came in and we did that review of the roof,
Oh, yeah.
and just to clarify, we're only looking at the roof back here, not the flat roof over the old building.
Oh, yeah.
But I, got a drawing,
Wow.
put the back roof back there where all that fascia is,
Yeah.
rotting out, falling off. And, I got a simple statement of work, But this is the first part is the shingles over the front part where the little cricket is, where the old town hall comes into this building.
Yeah.
Where it always leaks right there in the corner. That addresses that, and then this one is to address the back flat roof piece on the back. It just, there's something to get it out there so we can advertise it, see if anybody's interested in doing it.
What I'm afraid is we're gonna be just like the school districts.
Hard to get people to do it.
Yeah, they won't bid on nothing right now, because that's a bid, they don't have to bid.
Yeah.
But we gotta start someplace.
Mm-hmm, yeah. Yeah.
I'll clean it up and see. The other thing is I sent you a copy of a draft. Brief. Now, I think I mentioned that the plan is for, what I sent you has already been updated. You saw Ben's comments this afternoon?
That's it.
Yeah. He's got a point. My wording is not very correct.
I'll look at the next.
The idea is correct, but the wording is not correct.
Okay.
So, the idea about the tax shift is all centered around the state valuation. Okay? And the state valuation of your town is not just what we assess it as. This is what the state, website says. State valuation for a given tax year means the total equalized value of all taxable property in the municipality as of April 1st, 2 years prior. That's the look back thing. So the equalized is they look at what the assessors say, and then they run it through a bit of mojo, I guess, or whatever, to try to make sure that we're all using the same basis for evaluation. So they might boost it up or down a little bit. Now, it says plus the portion of exempt value of homestead exemptions and business equipment tax exemption property reimbursed by the state to the municipality. And then they subtract out the captured asset value of a tax increment financing district. So what that means is pertains to business equipment tax, the state reimburses us. So they, in essence, they're reimbursing us for about 50% of the value of what we would have collected in taxes. So they said, okay, well, you're gonna have to put that value back into your town when we go to calculate, revenue sharing and school, tax sharing and, county taxes and whatnot. So that's what I was trying to get at, and Ben kind of highlighted that, because it doesn't affect the assessed value, but it affects the state valuation, which is what gets wrapped up in that tax shift issue. So, and then the other thing though is the state really hasn't said how they address the net metered solar farms. Because they reimburse us 50% just like they do for Betty, but it doesn't mention in here anywhere in the manual how they address that. So I don't know. But my assumption was if they're going to give us the money, they're going to hit us with evaluation. Because it's all based on your ability to pay. So that's what I've tried to hit here is that, first, what a tip is. You draw a line around a piece of real estate say this is the district, and then you look at the value before and after, and the increment is the increased value, and that it shields us from the state, valuation for that amount. And, so that added value doesn't get impacted by the tax shift. And, originally, I understood the tax shift to be about 70%, but reading more, different, TIF applications for various towns, it varies, but depending on the community you're in, and I think it has to do with whether you're a well-endowed town with a lot of taxes or not, you know, whether you get a big shift or a little shift. It depends, it depends. You have to go through the town website. There's a formula that tells you how to do it, where you get the numbers, and, how to calculate it. Some of them are pretty tricky, I can't do them all, but anyway, so that's why I changed it to 50 to 75% reduction in for the tax shift. Then we got what you can spend the money on, and they say we can spend the money on public safety facilities, quality child care and adult care facilities, and broadband expansion, recreational trails, and of course the credit enhancements. What I'm honing in on here, and I'm not sure that that's what we'll eventually do, but is the fire department study says we've got a need for some facilities. And then the other end of the building that's used for childcare, and I think the main room back there, the community room, is used for adult care. You know, people come in and do their yoga and whatnot, exercises.
So
I think that could be qualified for, doing some repair down there, and we need some.
I see, so that's why you didn't include it
Right.
in that, okay, yeah.
And, you know, it's not just the roof down there, but we've got, some problems with those window walls.
Yeah.
I think they're leaking, and that's
Yeah.
where most of the problem is.
But we got some suspected mold down there too.
That's what I mean, is
Yeah.
it's leaking the
Yeah.
window walls.
Yeah.
So, those are areas where we could spend money. So, the point is that I think there's plenty of opportunity to spend increased revenue if we can get it.
Yep.
Then I have heard so many times that, people don't wanna give our tax money to support the solar farm or anybody's business, so to speak, you know, it should be able to support itself. And I can understand that, but what I'm trying to explain here is how these taxes actually work now. And just a quick explanation of, your house and land and how that's taxed. I think everybody pretty well understands that. You have the assessed value, and then you have all the exemptions that get taken off, and you pay your tax and buy your mill rate. Business equipment tax, though, and those are businesses, right? They don't pay any taxes on business equipment.
They end up getting it back, don't they?
They don't get it, but they don't pay any, and the town doesn't pay any. The state reimburses us 50% of what's approved for bedding.
Yeah.
So, is that support to the businesses? I don't know, you know, they get their taxes free. We don't get that on our house.
Well, I
So
think-
it's a pretty good deal.
Yeah.
I'm not against that, I mean, that's what the rules are. So then you look at, trying to make the point there that there's not a subsidy to the businesses through the Betty program. The net solar farm billing right now, those solar farms that are less than 5 megawatts, which are all of them, with the exception of the Glendale, project, are all net solar, billing type of solar farm. They're treated just like Betty. And they get assessed value, and the state reimburses us for 50% of the taxes that we would have collected if we could tax them at the full value. The solar farm payer doesn't pay any taxes, and the town doesn't pay any taxes on it. We get money, so we're reimbursed, so to speak. At least for the personal property portion of that up there, the Betty, that gets involved in the tax shift. So if let's say that we had $1 million worth of property, and we could collect 50%, of that, which I don't know, is 130,000 or something like that. The tax shift would become involved, and we would lose 50 to 70% of that when it comes to a reduction in our state revenue sharing and our increase in our share of the school budgets and our increased taxes. So then we get to the last one, which is the reason for the TIF discussion to begin with, which is our solar grade, or our utility grade solar farm, which is the West Baldwin Solar Station. They are taxed, they get no exemptions or reductions in their assessed value. They're taxed at 100%. So whatever Ben and his folks with a sharp pencil determine it be, that's what we tax them at. We get no money from the state. The developer pays directly to the town based on what the mill rate is, assessed value of the mill rate. That gets impacted by the tax shift. If it's not covered under a TIF, that is covered by the tax shift. So we would lose 50 to 70% of that money. If we can keep that money in-house here, I think we can find use for it.
I think
That's the point.
yeah.
I don't know, so the plan is, I will talk about what TIF is and why I think we want one. I will let Glendale talk about the credit enhancement and why they think we should give them one. But we don't, let me put it this way. We don't need a credit enhancement for a TIF. We do need the project though, for a TIF.
Yeah.
So we'll let them talk about it.
When Ben sent that email today, he referred to Greg Yim.
Yeah.
You're gonna run this by Greg Yim again too, or you
Can't. We can't bring him on board until, July 1st. That's when the money's available. And I would not want to hire him to do anything until we get an idea as to whether, what the town's feeling is, whether they want to go forward or not. If they don't, we'll just throw the towel in and say, too bad.
Yeah.
We're gonna beat ourselves over the head about it. We'll see how it goes.
Give me what you got.
Just that the beach cleanup this Saturday at 10 a.m. And we also have a meeting June 16th.
That's another beach meeting, right?
You're right, at 6:30. I'm gonna get it added in the shoppers guide for that. That's all I have.
Is he gonna wanna do them buoys this Saturday?
Probably. Yeah, bring a bathing suit. You and Mike can do it.
Think it's supposed to rain.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna get wet anyway, so.
I'm not going to water pop 30 below zero.
Nah. We talked about it anyway, I don't know. Depends on probably the temperature of the water.
Yeah, I mean, last year we had a minute this time. But it was cold doing it too.
The air, I remember, the air was cold, but the water was pretty warm. Yeah.
What'd you go?
Wasn't, you didn't go out in the water.
No, I only went out to
No,
buy
the
my
water
wet.
wasn't bad, really. I'm a wimp, I don't go in unless it's about 80 degrees anyway, so.
I got it in the fall, but the water was still warm.
Yeah, yeah. That's all I have.
Well, I'll talk to her tomorrow and find out if she knows anything about the after-school program or
Oh,
anything.
yeah.
Well, that's all I got.
I make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
So I went.